Hi everybody, I am Doctor Professor from Armenia, Armen Astvatsatryan, and today we will talk about cardiovascular diseases. So it's a cardiology. And today you will listen, an introduction. So we will talk about cardiovascular diseases. What are cardiovascular diseases? Cardiovascular diseases are conditions that affect the structures of function of your heart, of our heart, such as abnormal heart rate or arrhythmias, aortic disease and Marfan syndrome, congenital heart diseases, coronary artery diseases, or so-called narrowing of the arteries. So this is all about cardiovascular problems concerning cardiac infarction, angina, etc., sudden cardiac death. After that, we will talk about deep vein thrombosis and pulmonary embolism, heart attack, heart failure, heart muscle disease, so-called cardiomyopathy, heart valve disease, pericardial disease, peripheral vascular disease, rheumatic heart disease, stroke, of course, and vascular disease, or blood vessel disease. Cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death in all of the world. It's important to learn about your heart to help prevent it. If you have it, you can live a healthier, more active life by learning about your diseases and diseases of your patients, and taking care of yourself and, of course, taking care of patients. Types of cardiovascular disease can have various cases, so it's important to know the difference. And we'll talk in these lectures all about the diseases that I have mentioned above. So we'll have one lecture concerning abnormal heart rhythms. What is abnormal heart rhythms? The heart is really an amazing organ. It beats in a steady, even rhythm, about 60 to 100 times each minute, normally. That's about 100,000 times each day. Sometimes heart gets out of rhythm. So doctor call on irregular or abnormal, calls it. Your doctor or you will call it an irregular or abnormal heartbeat or arrhythmia. An arrhythmia, also called a dysrhythmia, can bring on an event heartbeat, or heartbeat that is either too slow or too fast. So aortic disease and Marfan syndrome. The aorta is the large artery, the main artery if you want, that leaves your heart and brings oxygen, rich blood to the rest of our body. These two conditions can cause the aorta to widen or even to tear. This raises the chance of things like atherosclerosis or hardened artery, sclerosis, high blood pressure, arterial hypertension, connective tissue disorders then can weaken your blood vessel walls, such as scleroderma, osteogenesis imperfecta, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and polycystic kidney disease, and final injury, of course. If you have got an aortic disease, you or your patient, you'll need a team of specialists and surgeons to take part in treatment of your patient. So cardiomyopathy or cardiomyopathies, this is the term for diseases of the heart muscle. They are sometimes simply called enlarged heart. People with these conditions have hearts that are unusually big, thick, or stiff. These hearts can't pump blood as well as they should. Without treatment, cardiomyopathies get worse. They can lead to heart failure and abnormal heart rhythms. So arrhythmia. Cardiomyopathy may sometimes run in families, but it can also be caused by high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, metabolic diseases, or infections. Congenital heart disease. Congenital heart disease is a problem in one or more parts of the heart or blood vessel, so it happens before birth. About 8 of every 1,000 children get it, congenital heart disease. They may have symptoms at birth, but some people with congenital heart disease don't have any symptoms, until childhood or even adulthood. In most cases, we don't know why. We don't know why it happens. Genes may play a role, or it can happen if a baby is exposed to a viral infections, alcohol of parents, or drugs before it's born. So coronary artery disease, another part of cardiology. So, dear students, you may hear this called coronary artery disease, CAD. It's when plaque builds up, plaque in coronary artery, of course. It's when plaque builds up and hardens the arteries that give heart vital oxygen, and with oxygen also and nutrients. That hardening is also called atherosclerosis. This phenomenon called atherosclerosis. Yes, we will talk about this in one of our future lectures, if God wants. Deep vein thrombosis, and pulmonary embolism. Blood clots form in deep veins, usually in our legs. This is deep vein thrombosis, or DVT. DVT, so deep vein thrombosis. They can break loose and travel through bloodstream to our lungs, where they can shut up blood flow. It can block blood flow. This condition is called pulmonary embolism. It's life-threatening and needs immediate medical attention, urgent medical attention, and of course hospitalization if you've got time. You might be at high risk of DVT, of deep vein thrombosis, because of your genes or family history. If you want, we call it destiny. Other things that can increase the risk include sitting for a long time, hypodynamia, like in a car or in a plane, long-term bed rest, pregnancy, of course, and using birth control pills, or hormone replacement. Another part is a heart failure. Heart failure, this term can be scary. It doesn't mean your heart is failed, dear students, like you on our exams. It doesn't mean your heart has failed or stopped working. It means that your heart doesn't pump as strongly as it should. Not like this and like this. This will cause your body to hold in salt and water, which will give you swelling and shortness of breath. So heart failure is it's a great, huge health problem in all over the world, and the United States also. So if we take United States, affecting more than 6.5 million people, is the leading cause of hospitalization in people older than 65. The number of people diagnosed with heart failure is projected to rise 46% by 2030, according to the American Heart Association. Heart valve disease. Our valves sit at the exit of each of our four heart chambers. So your valves sit at the exit of each of four heart chambers, normally 4 heart chambers. Do you remember anatomy? 4 chambers, right, in heart. So they keep blood flowing through your heart. Sometimes there are problems with these valves. Examples of heart valve problems include aortic stenosis. So when aortic valve narrows, it slows blood from your heart to the rest of our body. Mitral valve insufficiency with regurgitation. So your mitral valve doesn't close tightly enough. This causes blood to leak backward. So leading to fluid backup in the lungs, obviously. Mitral valve prolapse. The valve between your left upper and left lower chambers doesn't close right. Pericarditis. This is condition is rather rare and means the limiting surrounding your heart when heart is inflamed. An infection often causes this problem, pericarditis. Then rheumatic heart disease. This happens when rheumatic fever and inflammatory disease, rheumatic fever is an inflammatory disease that's most common in children and damages their heart valves. Rheumatic fever starts with untreated strep throat and can affect many parts of child's body. If doctor thinks your child may have had rheumatic fever, they'll do a physician exam and give tests, including, of course, X-rays and electrocardiograms to look for heart damage. Another problem is stroke. Stroke happens when something slows or blocks blood flow to your brain. Your brain can't get the oxygen and nutrients it needs, and brain cells start to die. When blood can't get the part of your brain that controls a certain function, a human is a brain, so your body doesn't work like it should. A stroke can happen because of a blocked artery or a leaking burst blood vessel. It needs immediate treatment to limit area of brain damage and other complications. Stroke is the leading cause of disability and more of the top causes of death all over the world and in the United States. Your circulatory system is made up to the vessels. Our circulatory system is made up of the vessels that carry blood to every part of our body. So the vessels carry blood to every part of our body. Vascular diseases includes any condition that affects your circulatory system. This includes diseases of the arteries that go to your legs, peripheral vascular disease, and slow blood flow to your brain, causing, obviously, strokes.